The opinions and views expressed in the following program are those of the speakers and the host, and do not necessarily reflect those of Yoakley Scott Corporation and your sports network.
Yeah, I've been closer to Jesus before, so can you help me out? Oh, can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? But can you help me out? Am I on my own? Am I on my own? Or can you help me out? Can you help me out? I've been scared to look in my soul. I've been afraid I would follow the road. Yeah, afraid of the things I've been told.
Hello, party people, people of Earth and beyond, whoever may be listening out there in the cosmos. This is your Friday episode. Oh my gosh. I had this. Oh, geez. Come on. There we go. This is a Friday episode Running Point on ysnlive.com, brought to you by our good friends over at Greenwood Chevrolet in Austintown. They go the extra mile for you. We try to do the same here on this show every single day. My name is Anthony Hartwig. I am your loyal guest and your host. We want to thank you for tuning in today. It's going to be a good show. It's going to look a little different. We're not going to be breaking down results today. We're not going to be getting into TED Talks where Anthony rambles on. We're going to have a player profile feature like we do every day, or I should say like we try to do every single day. One more from the Fitch softball team this year, the back-to-back state champions, Kayleana Ray, last but certainly not least. She'll be featured on today's show. But then we're also I want to lively react to Matt Maher's broadcast of the West Branch State semifinals, because we could all really be listening to that. So what we're going to do is we're going to go right off the jump. We're going to play Kayleana Ray's interview. When we come back, we're going to turn on Matt Maher's audio broadcast, and we're going to see how West Branch is doing. So that's what's in store for today. But before all that, here's Kayleana Ray and her interview with Ty Bartell before the state championship.
Welcome in, everybody. Ty Bartell with ysnlive.com. Another edition of Player Profile. This time we're going over to one of the freshman phenoms of this year, Kayleana Ray of Austintown Fitch High School. Kayleana, you're batting at the top of the order. You've been setting the tone for the Falcon lineup all season long, but you've been a multiple sport athlete since the beginning of this freshman year. I just want to first and foremost talk about how you keep up time-wise, management-wise, with all the sports, all the extracurriculars that you do, and still continue to shine in everything that you're able to do.
Yeah, my parents really stress being a multi-sport athlete and keeping us active at all times. They want us to have as much experience with everything as we can. So, they just help find time for everything.
Talking about your other sports, you were in volleyball, you were in basketball, and of course now in the softball season, the one we're primarily focusing on here. Volleyball and basketball too, you were kind of getting your feet wet too, starting to get into rotations with a lot of seniors, a lot of older players. Softball though, it was a little bit different speed. You're the star of the show. You're batting top of the order, starting every single game. Talk to me though, how did the other sports kind of help prepare you for this full season varsity level as a freshman that you got to experience in softball?
Yeah, it was more having the people that back me up. The seniors really helped me during volleyball, and then basketball, it helped. I was getting more comfortable. It was my first sport playing with Ayla, so she helped me get comfortable starting with basketball season and everything. And then softball, I've been playing my whole life, so now it's really my time to try and shine.
Talk about the experience with Ayla too, and you're going to have this one and sole year as the freshman and senior sister. Is this the first time that you've played together? Have you guys had experiences playing together prior to, or what's the history like on that?
Yeah, when we were little, I think I was 7, I played with her 10U team. And then even before that, we used to play Mill Creek together. So we started at a really young age together. I used to play up all the time. And then when she started to get older, I started to find my new team, and she kept going.
You guys are both superstars in your own right, and both have done phenomenal things. Talking about what Ayla has meant to you personally as a big sister, she was the one who was creating a name, really made people know who the Raids were before you even got to high school. What was there? Was there like a line you had to walk with, like trying to live up to a bar that was kind of set for
Yeah.
you, or was it kind of nice too, where she kind of paved a little bit of a way for you?
Yeah, she definitely like helped with like getting our name out there. And now that she did that, it's kind of like I'm trying to live up to like the expectations that were set for me. And I think I'm doing a pretty good job.
I think you're doing a fantastic job. Going over some of your numbers, batting over 750 on this season. You're 39 for 40 on stolen bases. I mean, up and down, you're every I think coach's dream for a leadoff hitter and what you've been able to produce. Talk to me about this season that you've been able to have freshman year, putting up these type of numbers. I've been singing your praise. I've been singing your name for freshman of the year candidate in the YSN family. What has it been like putting this season together? And I mean, you started hot, you stayed hot, and just kept that batting average right above the 700 number. That's pretty
Yeah.
impressive.
Yeah, it's exciting. We put a lot of work into it. I mean, we've been hitting all week so far, like every day this week. So it's really just like I'm happy that I can finally like show what I've been doing my whole life, and now it's like actually getting put out there.
You have the pop in the bat. You can go gap to gap. You have some over the fence power, which I'm sure is going to develop as we saw too with Ayla. But one of the skills that you have that I love is your ability to lay down the bunt. And you're one of those players that prove it's not a lost art, that there are still people that are able to do it. And your speed helps out with that. How much work do you put into your bunting skill? I mean, is it a part of every one of your hitting lessons? How much do you have to kind of integrate that to keep that skill at hand?
Yeah, I've been when I was little, like I would bunt all the time. Like that was the only thing I could really do. I was really weak. So like bunting was like my main thing, and that's all I did from like the 10U to probably 12U. And I just developed it over time. It's like comes natural to me now.
One of your nicknames I've given you K Quick this season, and it's with good reason too. 38 for 38 on stolen bases up until that last game too, and would have been 42. Kind of came off the bag, but stuff happens with that. But still, fantastic season and what you've been able to do. Talk to me about just your confidence as a base runner, because I've always said when you get a single, it pretty much turns into at least a double, most of the time a triple, because of what you're able to do on the base paths. What's your confidence level like once you get on base to be able to steal against any arm that's on the in the circle?
Yeah, I try my best to get around the bases, usually second base, because I try and get in scoring positions for the people behind me because I know that they'll hit it to the outfield. And even if I do have to tag up, I know I can get around the bases in enough time.
You talk about the outfield too, and you've been able to man center field pretty well this season as well. Call it Kaylee's Island out there for what you're being able to cover. You also have some pretty impressive arm strength, the young lady. I've seen you throw out runners at home all the way from
Yeah.
dead center field. Where's the defense? How much work do you have to put into that? Obviously, I know you go a lot into hitting, and you have your hitting lessons, your hitting coaches, but how much do you work have you put into defense? You talked about your work as trying to get strength up. I mean, you got the arm strength at center field now. How did you work on being in that position?
Um, when I was, it was also when I was little. I did a lot of work when I was little, but my mom put what used to be my coach, and she put me in center field to like start everything, and she really did because I was fast. She's also the one who switched me to the left hand side along with my hitting coach, but she put me out there because she knew I was fast. She knew I could manage the outfield, and over time, it's just learning to read the ball and beat it to the spot.
I also know you have some experience as a pitcher. You were actually one of the names all the other girls mentioned as most likely to look like a pitcher next to Cindy Watts and Vita Kelty. Talk to me about what other positions you've had experience with in softball. Obviously, you said center field was something you settled into at a young age. Did you kind of move around, or did you kind of find that home in center and always stick there? Or what's that journey been like for you?
Yeah, so I started in center field. Um, then I also pitched and I did all that. And then along with that, um, after pitching, it went to shortstop. and I was kind of everywhere. I went to second base, and I really loved the outfield just because I knew I had the range, and so I just decided to stick with that instead.
Being able to shag down fly balls too is a skill that not everyone has too, and your ability to be able to do it, especially on the run, has been quite impressive this season. I want to talk about just your season overall in general, and I mean what you were able to do in this last game in the regional semifinal. Came up with the big hit. You could put your team up 2-1. You've had that ice running in your veins all season long, though, and I mean I'm really impressed as a freshman stepping into these big moments. What you've been able to do. What's the secret to your skill and just your composure and poise when you step into the box in big moments?
Yeah, it's more just like confidence. Like when I stepped into the box, I felt like a lot of confidence, and I knew that Sam was right there on third, and I was like, all I need is a base hit. And I don't try and kill the ball or anything. I just need base hits, and that's all I really ask for.
You're making a nice run with this team, the furthest you've made it with any of the teams you've been on, and you guys all had pretty nice postseason runs in every sport. What's that experience been like for you? First time as a high schooler going on a deep run like this, regional final matchup, quite literally in a couple hours here against a much anticipated Walsh Jesuit team. What's the run been like, and what's this specific team been like for you?
It's been so exciting. I mean, again, like this is the first time I've been playing with Ayla in like since for years. And it's really exciting because I know that we can make it far if we just like keep using our fundamentals and everything. Like we're all awesome athletes. So, I mean, knowing that we have the ability to win state 2 years in a row, it's exciting, and I just hope that I can help like do it this year.
What was your mindset like coming into this year's team, knowing that this was the state champion team a year ago, and knowing the bar is going to be set pretty high if you want to get your playing time and innings in?
Yeah, I knew I had to make a name for myself. I knew Ayla was already in it. Ayla paved the way for our family. And so knowing that I had to make my own name, it really just gave me like the drive to be better as an athlete and just to keep going.
Talking about the coaching staff at Austintown Fitch, I know they get a lot of praise from a lot of the girls too. They all have different personalities too. What's it been like to be under Coach Ward, Coach Bob, Coach Becky, all the group there that they got at Austintown?
Yeah, we all have like our own senses of humor. And like sometimes like I know Sam, like she'll like ask Ward a question and he'll just be like, no. And she'll just be like, I can't tell if you're being serious or not. So she's fun to be around. And then Coach Becky, she's like really like honest about being behind her pictures and everything. And it's just great to be around such an awesome group of people.
I want to talk a little bit about the family connection. I know your family big supporters too. They're always constantly running both your mom and dad to make it to everything and try to see every one of you girls too in your sports and athletics. What's the family support like at home, and how much does it mean to you in each and every one of the sports you're in?
Yeah, they're always here for me. I mean, the twins, they come to as many games as they can. Sometimes they're dragged along and they don't really want to be there, but I know overall they're really proud of us and they support us all the time. And my parents, they're beyond awesome. Like, they're always here for us, they're always running around. And even though sometimes they might get tired of it, they're always super proud of us and they always make sure to tell us how proud of us they are.
We got into the softball career a little bit. I also want to talk about the actual school career too. First year in high school. What's that experience been like for you? What's some of your favorite subjects, favorite teachers that you've had at Austintown Fitch?
Um, my favorite subject, like this year, I really like started to like bio, even though it was my hardest class by far. Miss Crusoe, she's an awesome teacher, and she actually made me really like science. And I actually managed to get an A in that class, which is not very common for most people. But some of the teachers I liked this year was Miss Carney. She's my history teacher, and she just made class fun, and she was like a friend to us too. And even though Miss Carroll wasn't my teacher, um, she's one of the teachers at our school, and she's always supporting Fitch no matter what.
Super
She
fan.
loves, yeah, she loves the softball team. She's always there for us. So it's like I'm happy I can have like her, knowing that I have her support. And yeah, all my teachers were awesome.
What is it that you look for in a teacher, in a coach, and someone in a leadership role? What kind of gets you motivated, gets you fired up to put your best foot forward?
Um, Probably just like talking good, positivity. All my coaches are super positive. They always tell me that they believe in me. And even my teachers, they tell me that they know I can do it, like even when things get hard. So probably just like positivity and like motivation.
You're pretty young yourself, but I mean, you have younger sisters, and there's plenty of girls in the middle school level that I know that they are watching all these games. Either they're coming to the games, they're watching on YSN, they're supporting you guys too. What's your advice to the younger girls? You were just there a few years ago watching this team go to regionals. What's your advice to the younger girls that were in your shoes, or in your shoes like you were a few years ago, to get to where you are successfully on the team
Yeah,
now?
yeah, just keep working. I mean, everything is possible. Spots open up every year, and even if your spot's taken, like you can still compete for that spot, and you just shouldn't give up just because you know like that spot's taken at that time.
All right, Kayleana, before I let you go, I want to give you the spotlight to shine on anybody else that you feel fit at this point. Shout out anybody that's been there for you along the way and that's been there to support you this year and throughout the entire journey.
Yeah, I want to thank my parents because they've always been here for me. My sisters, Ayla, Taylor, and Tavia. My hitting coach, Bob Smith, for working with me since I was little. My travel team and my travel coaches, Coach Wade and Coach Reed. And all the coaches I've had throughout all the years.
Okay, Leanna, we thank you so much for the time you've taken out of your day. And I know it's a busy one. You got a pretty big game coming up here in just a few hours. We wish you
Yeah.
nothing but the best of luck in that regional final matchup, as you've had such a great season. And we're so excited to see where softball and where the rest of your sports and your athletic career takes you.
Yeah, thank you.
This has been a first edition of Player Profile with the freshman phenom, Kayleana Ray.
All right, that was Kayleana Ray with Ty Bartell, our very own, who does a great job doing interviews for us from time to time. And every time he's on the mic with an interview, you know you're going to get a lot of good stuff from the player. And he's been having Austintown Fitch on lockdown. I've been able to get on him with a few of them. But that was a great interview with freshman Kayleana Ray, who had an incredible year. Not ordinary freshman. Nothing ordinary about the season she had. Coming through every clutch situation, even in the state championship, state semifinals, didn't matter. Extra innings in the regional semis didn't matter. You always have Kayleana coming through. So, first pitch for West Branch is scheduled for 1:20, so it should be right around the corner. Right now, Matt Maher is in commercial break, but like I said, we are going to be kind of listening to this broadcast from Matt Maher and following along with it and seeing how West Branch does. It works out that we're going to be right along with the first pitch coming in at 1:20, around 1:20 for the Warriors against Indian Creek, the Redskins. So stay tuned for that from Canal Park. They're on a commercial break right now. But while we do have the time, let's get into the lineup that West Branch is going to put out today. So here's what West Branch is going to look like as far as their hitting order. Boston Molinex batting first, then Aaron Tucker, Hunter Shields, Bo Alazos, Anthony Perry, JT, and Jeremiah Thomas, Charlie Riskup. Sorry, I'm trying to. The Biscup is the text here is small. I should enlarge it. Jackson Robb, and then the center fielder Gavin Bell rounds out the lineup. So that's how West Branch is going to look in this state semifinal game against Indian Creek. Now, in the first state semifinal game from Canal Park, we saw Hamilton Baden get the win. So the winner of this game is going to play Baden in the state championship. And if West Branch does win, that'll be an all-green state final because both teams' primary colors are green. Trying to see if Matt Maher is live yet. Not yet. But when we look at I'm going to try to pull up Indian Creek real quick. Or at least the West Branch Game Changer. There it is. All right, so should be getting towards first pitch here. Kind of improvising because I thought we'd already be well on underway right now. Baden final score there, by the way, was 5-0. 5-0. They get the semifinal. They'll be there on Sunday awaiting the winner of West Branch Indian Creek. That game's going to be at 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday. So an early game if West Branch is able to get the win. Here we go.
Glad to have you here on the call. Hi, everybody.
Matt Marr on the call.
For you here today, and well, super excited here, and well, got the nerves up too as well. More so for West Branch here than on my own. It's gonna be fun though. These two teams are very, very good here so far. Obviously, to get to this point, obviously winning their regional finals matchup, and well, for this Indian Creek team here, pardon me. Well, they went up against Waverly and won 7-5 back on the 31st. And, of course, the West Branch Warriors won 2-1 over the defending champs here at Division II in Kenston. So,
what a win that was, by the way, a walk-off for Jackson Robb.
Going up against a starting pitcher today and Silas Hyde, and your starters for the West Branch Warriors, who will be the visiting team in this game. Well, first up, it's going to be the shortstop.
Very interesting. West Branch, the visiting team today.
Will be the first baseman number 26, Aaron Tucker.
It's all based on the lines of the bracket.
Shields. After him is the pitcher number 13, Bo Alisas, and then the third baseman number 55, Anthony Perry. After him is the right fielder number 1, Jeremiah Thomas, and then the designated hitter number 9, Charlie Biscup. And there today for the left fielder there in Wyke. After Biscup will be the second baseman number 5, Jackson Robb.
I was talking about this on
number 4, Gavin.
The state send-off show earlier today. Well, I should say earlier this week on Wednesday. Really like the top half of this order, especially the leadoff and Boston Molinix and how he sets the tone for this lineup. He has a great on-base percentage.
Second start time here. Initially, it was supposed to be 1 p.m., but because the game before this took a little bit longer. That one swung on, hit out towards left field, not deep at all. Making the grab is the left fielder there in Barcelo. That's out number 1 here for the Warriors.
So Molinix being aggressive in his first at bat and flying out to left.
Out in Canton at
I like the aggressiveness though, right? I mean, you're coming in first pitch swinging. Got to see some aggressiveness in the state semifinal game.
Brings in Tucker here, number 26. Same order as those first two games as well. Out in Canton, Thurman Munson. That one bunted down, diving and making one heck of a grab there. Rusnak for out number 2.
Man, when you're in a state semifinal, you're going to see the other team make a lot of really good plays. A diving catch on a bunt that's put a little bit up in the air. Gets out number 2. It's an efficient start for Indian Creek, right? A couple of pitches, couple of outs.
So Shields will step in here. Shields was 1 for 3.
Come on, Hunter, let's go.
In his second at bat versus the Bombers. That was in the 4th inning in that game here, but he was out number 3 as they went in order to start off that game. First pitch off the plate. Ball number 1.
The first pitch watch of the day, too.
Speaking of good, we've got a great crowd on hand here. A bunch of West Branch faithful obviously showing up here, and hard to tell the Indian Creek fans, but there are plenty scattered down.
If you want to listen to this game in its entirety, make sure to head over to ysnlive.com/live.
Over to Shields. His first at bat in that game was a ground out third over to first, so just trying to avoid that this time around as he takes strike number 1, just getting a piece towards that outside edge. This pitcher out there in Hyde really likes going over towards that left-handed batter's box here with his pitches. A little bit breezy out there, and you can see that on the jerseys, or at least I can. About 68 degrees here and very cloudy in downtown Akron, but what else is new? That one swung on, hit right off the glove of the second baseman.
You can hear the West Branch faithful after that hit goes through.
Their first hitter
And the Mean Green Machine is loud and proud. That should be a hit. Right off the glove, a hard hit ball.
That brings in the big heavy hitting pitcher here, and Alisas, number 13, had just one hit.
So West Branch trying for a 2-out rally.
Last week here, he had a base hit in the fourth inning. Hit that one into shallow left field against the bombing pitching. First pitch, low for ball number 1. No, was that called for a strike? Umpire, late call.
Gotta love late calls from umpires, right? That got me a lot this season. Matt, you are not alone.
I'm also sitting up high and off to the side a little bit. Pick off attempt to first, tag, not going to be in time here from
Can't pin off. You can't pick off that kid. He's too fast. Come on.
When it's their turn to come up to the plate at the bottom half of this inning, whenever that may be, and they're giving Indian Creek an error on that play there.
Oh.
So an error there on the second baseman Maurer.
I'm not there to see it,
off the side of his glove.
but the way Matt described it probably should have been a hit in my book. Let's go. That's why you don't pick him off. He's too fast. Too worried about the hitter. I mean, about the runner. It'd be huge to get a run here to help Bo Alvazos on the mound to have a lead in the first inning.
These two teams are matching up very nicely here. Not even a full inning in yet. The pitch swung on, hits that one into right field. That's going to get down. Is it fair? Yes, it is.
Let's go, Bo.
Comes around. He's going to score. Heading to second base now is going to be Alisas.
RBI double for Bo Alvazos. That kid just comes through every time. Triple. Let's go, Bo. Right down the right field line. Just fair.
Evidently, as it goes down in front of him and just rolls towards that corner all the way to 337 into right field. And this throw was not going to get anywhere near Alisas. He did not give up. And now Perry steps in here.
Now Anthony Perry, the cleanup hitter, can come in huge too.
Perry went for 2 in his game here.
Yeah, 2-0 lead for Bo Alvazos, who's given up goose egg in the regional matchup against Ysn the last time he pitched.
First pitch is in there calling for a strike.
Hey. My webpage just got reloaded. So there we go.
The 0-1. Swung on, hits that one towards left field, and it's got a chance to get over the head, and it's going to be grabbed.
Oh, wow. So 2 really good defensive plays for Indian Creek in this inning make this a little less damage than it could have been, but West Branch goes up 1-0. Woo. Good start for the offense on the boys. And now we have Bo Alvazos coming in with a chance to keep the lead. We're going to take a break along with Matt Maher. Be back with more on Running Point.
From stocking your fridge to cooking.
21 News delivers the news as it happens, using the latest technology from where it happens.
Live here outside the Mahoney County.
On air, online,
Wednesday afternoon weather update.
Very dangerous.
and on the 21 News social media platforms.
From on the road right now.
21 News, the Valley's only locally owned source for trusted news since 1953.
Craftsmanship to us is 60 years of pride and dedication.
Passed down from generation to generation.
The hardwood floors that your kids take their first steps on.
The solid wood doors you quietly close at night.
The things we create day in and day out are the products that end up turning your house into a home.
At Baird Brothers Fine Hardwoods, uncompromising quality and craftsmanship built our business.
And it will keep us moving forward for generations to come.
Going the extra mile at Greenwood Chevrolet means we want to take care of the community that takes care of us too.
And we have to work together always. And that's how you stay in business for 40 years.
You know, I love being a helper because when I help somebody, it makes me feel good.
It means a lot that I can make a difference in others' lives.
So I will do everything I can and just being there for them every step of the way.
I want them to know within the first 5 minutes that they could depend on me. That's what going the extra mile means, only at Greenwood Chevrolet.
Before the lights come on, before the workday begins, before a long day is ended, or it's time to have fun, it all starts with the people at Joe Dickey Electric. From replacing a light fixture in your home to building a substation for your business, No job is too big or too small. The people of Joe Dickey Electric power them all. Joe Dickey Electric, over 60 years of powering the Mahoning Valley.
Back here on Running Point, ysnlive.com, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet. We have Matt Marr on the call right now. State semifinal. We're live reacting to West Branch. They're leading 1-0, bottom of the first, against Indian Creek.
So Householder steps in here.
First
pitch to him as Alison's ready.
It's a familiar name, Householder.
Has it. Malinix to Tucker. Throw. Close. Did he stay on? No, he got his foot off the bag. Oh, Tucker looks over here at the umpire saying, what are you talking about? My foot was planted. He had a tippy toe there, but it
So a tough call there for West Branch. We'll get Indian Creek a runner on first to lead off the game.
Beat that one out.
It'll be rule of an error.
In the left field.
So both teams with a defensive miscue in the first.
Again, it was mighty close. So give or take, you could flip a coin here, call that an error, a base hit either way.
Actually, we'll wait because I don't know about the score.
Rusnak here will step in, see what he can do.
That's another familiar. We have a Rusnak here in Hubbard.
Being here, Virgil, you want to say it.
Two, Gabe and Phoebe.
And they're going to talk it through. Are they going to change this? No, they are. Runner is out here. They just
we got to change.
Again, if he had kept his foot on, that was out number one. And evidently it is.
That almost never happens in high school baseball where they just completely change a call, but one of the other umpires must have saw it differently. One out. Love it.
Call there by the umpires. Now Rusnak steps in here, number 21, the catcher. Takes first pitch. And he takes it. And they're calling for a strike. Looked like it was going a little bit off here, but it's still a nice pitch there by Alisas to just get the corner. Trying to be a little fancy there with his paint job. The 0-1. Swung on, hits that one, not hard or deep, out towards center, though. Misplayed out there by Bell, chasing back, looking. It's going to go over his head here. That's at least a double. We try for a third. Runner comes in, stops, puts on the brakes as it gets to the cutoff man. Now it's short of Malinix. And now you do have a base runner on board here for Indian Creek in scoring position. But again, one away here now for the Redskins. Pownell here. This is Landon Pownell. We've got one of two stepping up now for Indian Creek. First baseman, number 17. Keep an eye out there as well on Rusnak. Might want to take off and run to third if he's given the opportunity.
So Indian Creek with a runner on second with 1 out.
So far here in this game, the pitch. Again, that's granted error. I still think it was hit hard enough where that could be constitute, at least in high school, a base hit. But I'm not the one keeping track of the official score, so we go with what's up there on the scoreboard. One's in there called for strike number 2. And the batter is in the hole here, and that gets a little bit of an applause from the crowd behind. West Branch sitting on the third base side here for this game. Indian Creek first base. Well, they get the away dugout. Akron Rubber Ducks playing the the third base side here as home. First base is where the Warriors are. Not sure I got those two mixed up. It's a minor detail that doesn't ultimately matter here for this game, but still, got to get that right. Ball number 1 thrown high, and it's a 1-2 count now here on Pownell. Alisas looks good over at second. Now tosses in, and he throws low into the dirt here as it trickles right over to his catcher there, and Shields blocked it to make sure it doesn't get away.
I like throwing the dirt 1-2. You know, you're trying to get a chase and miss. Alisas has a good breaking ball.
The 2-2. Low inside. The cow runs full.
3 balls, 2 strikes. That's a tough spot.
Indian Creek wearing all white today with red lettering and a little bit of red and gold trim around the sleeves right at the very end. White pants with a red stripe down. West Branch wearing their black jerseys as usual and their gray pants, black caps. Upstairs for ball number 4, and Alisas walks his first base runner.
It's a tough at bat. Tough at bat. Get ahead, and then a couple of close pitches get taken. You try to get a chase pitch, doesn't go. Lineups are here for a reason, right? So if you're Indian Creek, you're going to be a pretty patient baseball team if you're going to make the state.
Just clamped down in the nick of time. I'll tell you what, it was close. Very easily could have been a double against anybody else. This one swung on, hit not deep, it out towards right field. Coming in, making the grab is going to be Thomas. Runner tags, comes to third, and there will be no throws. He's in with a slide.
Yeah, that's smart. If you hit it to right field, that's a throw across the field all the way to third. You're not going to really do much with that. I like eating that, keeping the runner at first. Now you have a force out at second or first, whatever you need. So many baseball and softball players, for that matter, make that throw when there's really no chance to get it, and then you give up an extra base. It's one of the things that really just drives me nuts. Keep that runner at first.
Win that game narrowly against Baden. So a little bit of history there, but not a whole lot. It was 42-39 for those interested there for the Warriors all the way back 20 years ago. Swung on, hit to second, and they've got him. Short over to second, I should add here. To ground out.
There you go. Force out of the second. That's why you keep him there. Nice timing. We'll go to the commercial break for Matt Maher as we talk more about this game and about what West Branch has in front of him. Once again, Hamilton Baden, the team that won the first state semifinal. They are playing on Sunday. The winner of this one going to Sunday at 10 a.m. West Branch, you could tell this. I mean, not even watching it, just listening to Matt Maher and the way that he paints a beautiful picture. You could tell the first inning, just a little bit of jitters on the defensive side, but being able to get out of that without a run scoring with a runner left at third, you start to think that this team will start to settle in as the game goes on. But there have to be a little bit of butterflies. First inning playing at Canal Park in the state semifinals. No one's been to that stage before on this team. First time in 50 years that West Branch baseball has been to this stage. So, yeah, you can definitely expect a little bit of uneasiness, and they got through it. They did. They made a nice play, keeping that runner at first, like I said, on the tag, not making that throw. If you make that throw on the tag from second to third, there's a good chance that the runner at first also tags to go to second, and then you're dealing with two on with two out, and there's no force out anywhere except first. So that ground out for the short, it gets a little bit dicier. You don't go right to second, then into the inning. You can have to make the throw, which a lot of variables go into every throw you make, especially at this level. West Branch will go into the top of the second with a 1-0 lead. By the way, the last state champion for West Branch was the girls basketball team against Hamilton Baden. So the stars might be aligning if West Branch gets a chance to meet Hamilton Baden in another sport for another team state championship. Who knows? We'll see if they can punch their ticket. 1-0 right now, heading to the top of the second. I'm live reacting to this with you, Matt Maher, on a great call. Still in a commercial break. If you want to listen to this game in its entirety after Running Point, head over to ysnlive.com/live. It is a free audio-only broadcast. We'll have the state championship game covered too if West Branch is lucky enough to advance to that game. So here we go. Top of the second.
The game prior to this one here. The winner of this game will take on Hamilton Baden in the final on Sunday at 10 a.m. right back here at Canal Park. Hopefully, weather's a little bit nicer out here. Again, just nothing but clouds. They keep moving, but they're replaced by even more dark gray clouds here. Just
hey man, I'll take cloudy over rainy, right? Any day. If it's at least it's dry in Northeast Ohio, like he just said.
Well, somebody to keep an eye on there. If you keep an eye on anybody in that game, ball number one thrown off here. Now it's going to be Jeremiah Carmella, their catcher for Hamilton Baden. Well, that game was their designated hitter, but he had 3 hits and 4 at-bats in that game here and 3 RBIs. A very dangerous batter here. 3 out of 5 runs scored in here for his team. I believe 4 out of 5 there.
I'm interested to see if West Branch's aggressiveness early in the count continues. They did not see a lot of pitches in the first inning. They were really aggressive.
Low calling for a strike. Just got a piece in there on Thomas, a right fielder.
Come on, JT. Let's go.
Now, Thomas, in his most recent game back in Thurman Munson, went 0 for 3 with 2 flyouts and a ground out. Swings through, fouls that one back. Goes into the nice netting behind the home plate, and the count will even. 2 balls, 2
Hey, anytime
strikes now
someone
here.
fouls something straight back, that's a good idea that you have it perfectly timed. Got to get on the same plane of it, of course, but it's a good sign for JT.
Of course, you're going to stick to it. Coach knows that. And
Might see an off speed here.
that's a good thing here for West Branch as they're up 1-0 currently. Inside almost nicked him, but he's able to get out of the way just in time.
And they come with
Ball
the
number
inside
3.
velocity. That's
Got a
interesting.
full count and a payoff pitch incoming here by High.
Now, do you trust your changeup enough to throw it 3-2 or a breaking ball?
We'll see how good of a leg Householder has if the chance comes for him. 2-2, pardon me, 3-2 is low and off here for ball number 4.
Lead off walk.
Works out here for Thomas. And they walk the
Low
lead
and
off
off. That tells me that it might have been an off speed or a breaking ball to try to get him on 3-2.
Is on the line, and a trip to the finals is on the line as well here. Biscup steps in. 1 for 2. Well, he did have an intentional walk back in the 7th inning of that game versus Kenston. I got a base hit before that in the 5th, up the middle. Yeah, it was hard to hit against Kenston. Really good pitching, and you got to expect really good pitching pretty much throughout the rest of this tournament. Pick off
He's right there.
First runner's back in with a nice skirt.
Skirt.
It's
Skirt.
Thomas who sits over at first base here for the Warriors. Signaling something over to his coach at third. We play on.
I think they get aggressive with Thomas on base. He's a quick one.
Between the plate and the mound, and this one goes a little bit high here for ball number 1. Our first pitch finally comes in here, and it's a nice one for Biscup. A friendly look there for number 9. Batting .244 on this season here. On base percentage of .361. Walked 13 times, has 17 Ks on the year. The 1-0. Swung through and missed. Trying to get that one all the way over towards the old YMCA building.
That's right. You have another strike to work with.
Count evens, 1 ball and 1 strike.
Oh, sorry. I was 1 strike ahead. It says 1-1.
You got the Ohio and Erie Canal just past the left field wall.
That's why I'm not calling the game, right?
Towpath. Very popular hike and bike path, of course, here in Northeast Ohio, going through the National Park all the way up to Cleveland. The 1-1 and the pickoff attempt over at first. It was low into the glove there of Pownell, and
I think looking at the time, might be able to stay with you through the whole second inning, hopefully.
7 RBIs for this batter as well here for the Warriors. Great student section show up here for now all 3 games I've been able to call for them in this tournament.
That's no shocker.
Those kids, they're rowdy, and I'm sure you'll be able to hear them if
Student sections for West Branch are not to be messed with.
They're just trying to get another base runner, trying to find their second hit of the game. Both teams are tied in that category here. He's credited with a hit here for Indian Creek. Or pardon. Well, probably could have been actually. Probably could have been 2 hits for West Branch.
I agree, Matt. That ball that was hit hard off the edge of the glove back in the first.
Wines tosses in, swung through, missed. Strike number 3, out number 1 here. Got Biscup to go around here. Designated hitter goes
It's a good
down.
job by the Indian Creek pitcher to go back from the walk and get a strikeout to even up the inning. 1 on, 1 out.
Obviously as well, so you don't want to play reckless and loose. You want to be a little more tight out there and be more aware of your surroundings. First pitch comes in here to Rob. Inside, ball number 1.
Jackson Robb was the hero in the regional finals.
That last game, he won 1 for 3 though against Kenston. Had an RBI double in the 7th inning. Their second run to walk it off. So he was the hero in that game. Now just looking for a hit.
From my mouth right to Matt Mars.
Swings and misses on the next one. Strike number 1 now on Rob. He did strike out swinging against Kenston pitching as well once in his second at bat in that game. So not a stranger to it. He struck out 24 times total this year as well. But he does have 15 hits and 11 RBIs. The 1-1 pitch. Runner takes off. Thinks bunt. Pulls off ball. Number 2 throws that one away from the shortstop. Covering well behind, though, is your second baseman, Maurer. That's a stolen base.
So 2 stolen bases now for West Branch. They are
Oh, no. Scoreboard says 1-2 here.
going to be very aggressive on the base pass.
2-1 is correct here. Scoreboard was incorrect. We'll get that correct here on ours, though. I'll correct it, too. Every now and then, you kind of scoreboard just says, I don't care. I mean, as long as the umpire knows, right? Not here, though. The 2-1. Bunt again pulls off. That one's called inside for a strike. Heard the umpire this time. Now they can put that second strike up here as the count evens. 2 balls, 2 strikes now on the West Branch second baseman, trying to get his 12th RBI now of the year.
He's got one right there for you, J-Rob. Let's go. Trade places.
2-2. That one's inside. Called strike number 3.
Oh.
He goes down looking back-to-back K's.
Matt, you fooled me. When you said it was inside, I thought you meant inside for the ball. You got me there.
See if they can make this 2-0. 0 for 2 in that first game. Struck out, pardon me, the last game, I should say. You're struck
Got to get a big 2-out hit now. You got to come down to it. You have a runner on second, runner in scoring position. You can't leave him there in a state game.
179. We're looking to improve that here. On base at 250. What's in there? I believe calling for a strike. Not at the most generous angle here to see that umpire's call either. So bear with me here. Pitcher ready, Hyde. Looks over at second real quick. His focus is on the plate. Tosses in. Swung through, missed. Dropped here by the catcher. A little bit too hard for him to make a nice clean grab, but still, batters in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes on the center.
Come on, battle, bud.
Well, it's not imperative that you score here, but you definitely want to.
Oh, yeah, you definitely want to. It's not like he said, it's not like do or die, but.
If your defense can hold it strong, you know Alisas is capable. It's not going to hurt too much if you don't score, which they don't. Swing and a miss here on out number 3. 3 straight strikeouts after the leadoff walk.
That's tough. You get a leadoff base runner, but Indian Creek's pitcher bows up. 3 straight strikeouts. That's impressive. So you go back to a commercial break, heading to the bottom of the second. West Branch up 1-0. You can find this game in its entirety, or if you want to listen to it without my commentary, go to ysnlive.com/live. This is my best attempt at a Manning cast, right? Here we go. We're commenting on the baseball game while we're listening to the network's actual call. We're taking steps up on YSN, right? This is fun. I'm actually enjoying this. West Branch going into the bottom of the second against Indian Creek, 1-0 with the lead. If they win, they get Hamilton beaten in the state championship game Sunday at 10 o'clock in the morning. Canal Park in Akron. Akron, the wonderful host of both the baseball and softball state championships. I know their Parks and Rec department are really busy, especially with the Firestone Stadium. They own Firestone Stadium, so they have a lot to be responsible for there. I want to take the time to thank Melvin Blake, the sports and athletics director of the Akron Parks and Rec department. Did an amazing job with accommodating everyone at Firestone Park, including us here at YSN. We were able to get a prime spot in the media tables for our efforts that Melvin Blake put to make sure we were there. So I want to make sure to give him a shout out, doing hard work. And you guys all know, if you've been watching me for a while, Firestone's a little bit of a home for me. So to see that there are still people down there, even though it's not owned by the Akron Racers anymore, now owned by the city of Akron, still people down there that are going to work with you and be really good people. That's always awesome to see. So Stark County hosting both state championships, and once again, props to the city of Akron for being able to do that.
Here for anybody who might be watching on the replay officially here on YSN, but for those of you live, well, you're not sure what I'm talking about here. That's all right.
I know what you're talking about, Matt. I can visualize what you're saying. Bottom of the second.
24 season, overall record of 349 and 283 for this coach here for Indian Creek, which is really good, especially in that many seasons.
By the way, this is that Indian Creek team that we see quite a bit on YSN. They play the likes of East Liverpool and Beaver Local. So they've definitely been on YSN quite a bit.
It's a taste of his own medicine. He's in Mauer. Meanwhile, over here for West Branch, their head coach, Rick Malinix, Mount Union, been with West Branch for 6 years and has an overall in his career 174.
Rick Malinix,
as a coach in the OHSAA baseball, which
a great baseball coach and a purist, as we were talking to him in the state send-off show on Wednesday.
This is his first time here again. at this level. That one misses low, and the count will go even. 1 ball and 1 strike now here on Maurer.
Man, if your name is Maurer and you're playing baseball, you better be good, man, because that's a big name to live up to. It's like having a last name Trout or something and playing baseball. Maurer, little bit in my time, but if you're a new baseball fan watching the MLB, he was a really, really good player for the Minnesota Twins.
That's a flyout. Crowd number 2 into right. Great snag again.
I told you they're going to settle down, and Boalasas gets the first 2 outs at the bottom of the second. After a little bit of a shaky first where they put a runner on third and stranded him there.
Again, you look at that first game before this, because again, it is very, very much so of concern and something to keep an eye on, of interest, I should say, here for both of these two teams as they look to go up against Hamilton Maiden. Nobody scored until the 4th inning. Again, that was Maiden scoring their first one. Then they scored their next 4 in the 5th. One comes in and I believe hits him. Runner on board now here.
Ooh, that's a tough break. Boalasas really likes to work in. Really likes to hammer that inside corner. Sometimes I can get away from you, though.
We're in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. 1-0 West Branch at the moment. Malasas trying to work here with that runner up. He also only had 1 pitcher there in Dryson. That one swung on, hit into the diving glove. The shortstop over to second for 1, and that is all you need.
That's all you need. I was about to say, we don't need a double play. Let's go. Nice play by Boston Molinix. Let's go, buddy. Defense came with the gloves. End of 2. West Branch leads 1-0. Love it. We're gonna take the times as a commercial break is to bid that adieu. We have come to the end of our show here at Running Point, not the end of that game. If you want to continue listening to Matt Morris call, you make sure to go over to ysnlive.com/live and click on that West Branch game. He'll have you covered with the rest of the state semifinal from Akron. West Branch up 1-0 after 2, and we hope they can keep it with Boalasas on the mound. 1 might be all you need, but you love some insurance, and they have put runners on in each inning. So West Branch trying to get a trip to the state championship on Sunday against Baden. Thank you so much for tuning in today to Running Point. I want to thank Kayleana Ray for giving us her time for that interview that we played at the beginning of the show. I also want to thank Ty Bartell for taking the time to conduct that interview and help us out at YSN with the content. He does a great job, like I said, every single interview he is a part of. And we will see you on Monday after a long weekend. Hopefully on Monday we're talking about a state championship baseball team with West Branch winning on Sunday and today. Hopefully today and Sunday they get 2 wins. They bring home a big trophy and be the 3rd YSN team in the spring diamond sports to bring home a state championship trophy. Once again, thank you so much for tuning in today. Anthony Hartwig signing off. That's Running Point, brought to you by Greenwood Chevrolet.